might be a little dramatic to say this, but it literally upsets and offends me when 80s pop music and even some rock gets played in like the easy listening sound systems in supermarkets and stuff, because it's just such a contrast from the way it was back then. I mean, I at least grew up in the, I at least was around in the late 80s and obviously into the 90s, I remember. Like, this stuff was played at parties, and like all the cool, some of the cool teenagers and 20-somethings would be blasting it in their cars, and it was played at, at pizza places and sports games, and I just missed that vibe that it had, and I know things do change, but I just wish that it could have stayed like that. I mean, at least in a sense, and I feel like it does still. If you're going to be brought into the modern era, I think it's much better when it's in like a video game or a TV show or a movie, because that is a way to bring it back to like a Gen Z, or who's like 17 now. That's a perfect way to bring it back. But when it's in like, if it's in the background in Walgreens, who's ever going to think that it's? No, I'm not saying there aren't any. I'm sure there's some people who look it up from that. And it's like, oh yeah, song's pretty sick, man. But like, there's just as many. I'm afraid that like some 18-year-old who gets their first job at a place like that, and then they hear a Hall & Oates song play. They're not going to see it as fun music like I did. They're going to permanently, they're always going to know it as like background adult contemporary music. It's like, oh my god, who would ever choose to have this on the phone? Who would ever like want to listen to this? And it's like, I don't want stuff I grew up with to be like relegated to that. It's like, maybe it's another sense of like that I don't want to grow up, and that makes me feel grown up. It makes me, when my generation grows up, it makes me feel like that. And it's like, that's kind of a shitty way to feel. I mean, maybe I'm in a bit of denial, because like, I never thought, maybe I was, granted, I was, we couldn't have seen down the road. I was maybe a little bit of a naive kid about it, but it's like, I never thought that anything, not just music, but in general, that nothing that I grew up with would ever get to like, I thought it would always be something that was cool, just a time that had passed, but it would never be like old, like the, big band something, or like the grandparents era. I never thought that it would end up at that point. And it's like, this music was meant to be blared. This music was meant to be enjoyed. Don't relegate it to adult contemporary status, because that hurts, especially us 80s babies,